Hi there, Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk's Bounty video. And in this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Baylan Skoll from the Ahsoka series. Now, I've had this figure for a little while now, but I just haven't had the chance to review him. I've already reviewed Shin Hati, that's already on the channel, and now it is the turn of Baylan Skoll. And when we talk about Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati, it is quite amazing that it has taken this long for us to get these two figures in the Vintage Collection. They should have been two of the very first characters in the line when the Ahsoka show was airing, when we got some of the others, basically. The very first episode with Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati should have been enough for Hasbro to put out those characters immediately, basically. But we were made to wait. Black Series, of course, got them, but we were made to wait. But we do finally have them now, and they don't disappoint. The Shin Hati figure is very good. If you haven't checked out that review, it is on the channel. Now it's the turn of Baylan Skoll, and with all that being said, if you don't enjoy the video, hit the like button down below, subscribe if you're new as always, and let's take a look at that card back. Okay then, so here is the card back, and the image is pretty good. I always liked this one ever since they revealed it. There are a couple of other shots that they could have used, but I don't dislike this one at all. I think it looks pretty cool. And of course, there's the figure in the bubble, and also the shot of him there. He isn't wearing his cape, and you don't get the cape or his robes, whatever you want to call them, you know, with the figure. Exactly the same for Shin Hati. And that was the same with the Black Series as well. The first time that they released Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati, they didn't include those robes, and the Black Series had to wait for them to be released again with the robes. And I'm sure, you know, at some point we'll probably see the same happen in the Vintage Collection. VC355, there he is on the back of the card there. There's the figure, the card back, Vintage Collection logo. And there he is in the bubble. We have waited a long time for this one, but, you know, the head sculpt's looking pretty good. But we're going to take a closer up look at the figure now. We've had a look at the card back. I do like that light blue that they've used for the name pill and the panel behind the figure. Considering the figure is black, I think that really does pop. And obviously it's going to go very nicely next to the Shin Hati figure as well. Master and Apprentice and all that. Yeah. So let's open him up and check him out. All right then, so here is Baylan Skoll out of the packaging, and for the moment I've just got him standing next to the Shin Hati figure because obviously they go together, and also with the Black Series there was an issue with the height of those two figures. I don't know whether they made Baylan Skoll too short or if they made Shin Hati too tall, but essentially they were pretty much the same height if I remember correctly. Of course, with the Vintage Collection, one of the bonuses of being made to wait is that they can correct those sorts of things, and as you can see there, Baylan Skoll is significantly taller than Shin Hati, and they look absolutely fantastic together. Both of them are all new figures, of course, which is good. And I've just got Baylan Skoll in a pretty simple pose there, holding his lightsaber with both hands, so you can see that that is done. I do like the pose that I've got him in there. It does remind me of how he would look in the show, and it is a huge shame that the actor Ray Stevenson sadly passed away and they've had to replace the actor for season 2. I felt that he did a really good job in the, you know, first season of Ahsoka. As I've said a few times, for me, Baylan Skoll was the best thing about the Ahsoka series. Phenomenal character, looked really good. He's a very sort of regal looking character, isn't he, with his sort of outfit that he's wearing, the type of armor that he's got there. Very Game of Thronesy look. And in fact, the actor that they've replaced him with was an actor from Game of Thrones, so that might look a little bit similar in the second season. But yeah, can't grumble with the look of this figure. Looks fantastic. And now we'll take a closer up look at the figure in detail. And as I said, it is all new from top to bottom. All right, so as always, we get a super close-up look at the head sculpt. And once again, I think they've done a fantastic job with that head sculpt. I'm loving the paint applications on the beard and the hair. The beard is more of a white compared to the hair, which is more of like white and grey. Two-tone there, the paint applications. I think they've done a great job with that. Really looks good. Get a real close-up look at the photo reel. Yeah, loving that. I think they've done a great job with that. Looking at the figure itself and the detail and sculpting work that they've got going on his armor there, you can see some really nice effects. And we will take a look at the articulation in a minute and how those shoulder pads work. But in terms of paint applications, it's kind of got like a sort of bluey effect on there. And I think that that's what they did with the Black Series as well. But if you look at his outfit in the show, I feel that that's probably the only way that they could sort of capture how that actually looks. I'm not too sure if it's like blue in the show, but definitely they've got a hint of blue paint applications on there just to bring out some of those details. I think they've done a good job in recreating that. You can see he's got those shoulder armors there and some detail on his gauntlets, both sides, some really nice sculpting work. And the bottom half of his outfit is soft vinyl plastic, and you can see it's got splits at the side and obviously at the front, and that's obviously to, not hinder the articulation in any way. The back piece of the tunic, or the skirt if you like, is all one piece, unlike the front where it's been split. And of course, if you've got any desire to him riding one of those howlers, then obviously that's going to get in the way. And if you watched my Shin Hati video, I did try to put that figure onto the howler, and it did kind of work, but not too well. Basically, this would really need to be soft goods for it to work properly. Or maybe you could put a slice in the back of the skirt there, and then it might work a little bit better. But we will check that out in this video as well. We'll see what he looks like on the howler, if that's even possible. But just by looking at this, it's not going to look great. He's got some detail there on his belt buckle. And then if we lift his tunic up, you can just see the detail on his trousers and on his boots there. Some really nice sort of strappings going on, some buckles on the back of those boots there. Pretty cool, or leg strappings as it were. Very, very cool figure indeed. And in terms of the articulation, of course, the head will be on a barbell. Lots of range of motion there. Nothing's really hindering that, which is great. Now the shoulders, these shoulder armor pieces, they are like the Shin Hati figure, very loose, very soft plastic. They sort of flap around a little bit there. They are attached just underneath the sort of shoulder piece there. And that obviously enables the articulation to work really well. But what I would say is that if you sort of bend these around too much, you can see what's just happened to that one. You're gonna have to sort of realign it. And I wouldn't really stretch that around too much or pull on that too much, because it's just going to get far too loose and end up sort of moving around when you don't want it to. Hinge at the elbow goes past 90, which is a good thing to see. He does have hinges at the wrists. He has a really good torso joint. Lots of range of motion there. Left, right, all around. Nothing on the actual waist, but he does have the barbell hips, of course, with the split at the thigh. Now the knee joint for me is a little bit disappointing because it only just about goes 90. It's not going to go any further than that at all, but he does have the rocker ankles, of course, being such a new figure. All of these figures these days have the rocker ankles. So that's the articulation for you. With those splits there, you are going to be able to get him into some dynamic poses, no problem at all. And we'll do a few of those at the end of the video if we can. In terms of the accessories, you obviously get the lit lightsaber, which is orange. You can see there the light going through it, pretty cool. And obviously that is a unique hilt for Baylan Skoll, not one that we've ever seen before. It's kind of got like a cross guard on it, a little bit similar to Kylo Ren's, but obviously his had those beams emitting from those, which Baylan Skoll doesn't. It's more like a sort of a broadsword effect, if you like, and there's silver paint on there as well. And of course, we also have the unlit version, which is pretty much exactly the same, except for the fact that you have that little peg on there, and that just attaches to this hole on his tunic right here. So we can just get that in there like so, and that looks pretty awesome. I think I said in another video that I tend to display most of my like Jedi or Sith characters, lightsaber wielding characters, with their lightsaber hilts hanging down from their belt as opposed to holding a lit lightsaber. I don't know why, I just kind of prefer it. I think it looks really cool like that. But that is Baylan Skoll, and you can see there his tunic, the way it all ties up at the back. As I said, very sort of medieval, Games of Thrones-y kind of look for Baylan Skoll. Awesome character in the show. Guys, that is Baylan Skoll for the Vintage Collection. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to my Patreon supporters and channel members as always. Your support means a great deal to me, so thank you so much. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we shall see you on the next one.